Great day, world. Hopefully everybody's super great and getting better. We just had, the Easter break, Easter weekend. Hopefully everybody enjoyed themselves, their families, and time spent with them, and they ate some good food. But we don't forget the real reason behind Easter, and that's He has risen. With that being said, in one religion we have to address, the Catholic religion, they lost their leader, Pope Francis. He served for, I want to say 10 plus years, maybe around 12 years. He passed away on Easter Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. It was reported that he also had some illness that he was fighting over the years. He was 88 years old. So, to the whole Catholic religion, his family, his friends, the whole village and community, we want to send our condolences and our deep thoughts and prayers to Pope Francis and everybody that's surrounding his family, friends, and community. With that being said, we also had our first week of NBA playoffs, our first weekend of NBA playoffs. And it was very interesting. I don't know what was the most surprising thing about the playoff. I would have to say my personal opinion would be I think the Lakers. I think the Lakers are in trouble. I thought they could get over the hump with being able to play small ball, small lineup against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but it's looking like those guys are stepping up. Everybody, like they're back in rare form from last year. They lost a big part of their team when the trade happened with the New York Knicks. So I thought that would have affected them a little more, but it looked like they clicking on all cylinders. I know Anthony Edwards is shooting the lights out. Have a very high three-point percentage this year, if not the highest. And he's getting people involved, creating plays, but they still have a lot of size. So Rudy Gobert being able to defend the rim on the defense side, one of the top defenders in the league, I think that's giving a lot of problems to Luka, the Lakers, LeBron. So it looked like the Lakers in trouble. When I saw him do that, stare down after hitting the three, to Luka, it's like, yeah, I'm here. I know you fresh to the Western Conference. Fresh to the Lakers, but I want to welcome you. And he gave him the stare down, gave him the old three, the new three that they do. But I think the Lakers in trouble. I think some good games were Cleveland and Miami, even though Cleveland was able to pull, the lead to 21 at the end. That was a little back and forth. I thought that Miami kind of played a little physical ball with them early in the game, and that gave Cleveland a little problems. Also, just seeing the health of these individual athletes. A lot of injuries. And, right now is the time you're in the playoffs, so nobody's 100%. So the tough guys, the guys that want to be out there, they understand how to play through those little knick-knack injuries. But Donovan Mitchell is fighting a little ankle injury right there. So it'd be interesting to see how well, those guys can play through those injuries and how effective they can be. And I think that's going to be a telltale of this, series right here. I feel like Miami is missing a piece or two to help them get over the hump, but you never know. People can, show up. You're always looking for somebody to rise up in these finals, in the playoffs, who can step up and be a contributor. And normally when you have that happen, those guys become household name going into next year. So I think Miami need one of those guys to step up. Boston, Orlando. I think Orlando, they had their hands full the first game. And I don't want to mess up his name, but they call him PB. He did everything. He scored, 40 ball, still came up short. They was able to, tie the series up after. But looked like Tatum, we just talking about injuries. He had like a little wrist thing going on there. I say this about athletes. again, I don't think nobody's at 100% right now. This is the playoffs, so everybody got some little aches or some little elements that they're dealing with. I would say what I saw from Tatum is he showed it. He was grimacing on the court, and sometimes the opposing teams play off of that. You know what I mean? They play on mental games about we feeling it right now. Live, you gotta turn your TV off, man. Let's see if you want to answer this. Hey man, we shooting the podcast right now. You just calling us right in the middle of the podcast. We talking about basketball right now. You just called us right in the middle of the podcast. Look like you getting it in.
Yeah.
What you got going?
Nothing. I'm just in the weight room.
Yeah. Well, we trying to film a podcast and talk about a little NBA playoff basketball. The weekend just concluded, so
We are talking about Clippers and Denver Nuggets last night.
Not yet. We gonna get there though. That's a very interesting thing. What you think? Give us a little perspective on that. Clippers looking real good. Kawhi Leonard looking real healthy after missing almost the most of the season. I've never seen a guy that have missed that much time, but came back with like no rust. He just into. I think he only missed like 2 or 3 shots last night.
Yeah, Kawhi went off last night. James Harden was playing decent up until like the fourth quarter. He didn't really shoot too much. In like the fourth quarter, he was just sitting in the corner, passing around. I forget his name. His number 24 though for the Clippers. He
Powell.
He had a good game.
Powell.
Yeah, he had a nice game last night. He was hot.
Yeah, he didn't take that lightly that Jamal Murray picked him up. They ended up with a couple of technical fouls. You ain't gonna be able to just pick up another grown man, Jamal Murray. I don't know where that came from, where he decided to pick the guy up, but yeah, he ain't take that lightly, kind of push him. I think they ended up with like a couple of technical fouls, 2 for the Clippers and like 1 for Denver.
Yeah, and then on Denver side, Jokic had too many turnovers.
Yeah.
And then they pick and roll with Jamal Murray. They got that. And then what his name is, light skin, tall. He had like
Porter Jr. Oh, you talking about Garden? Yeah, he nice.
No, Porter.
Oh, Porter Jr. Okay, yeah.
14 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
He always shooting it.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else, they had a solid game. It was a close game. It just ended up a little short.
Yeah. Joker flirted with a quadruple double. I think he had about 7 or 8 turnovers.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's too much for the playmaker. So, yeah, they got to change that. They went on one stretch where they had like 3 turnovers in a row, and I think that's when the Clippers took, control of the game.
Yeah.
And somebody got to play defense on Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he can't just,
he was just giving whatever he wanted.
Whenever he wanted. Didn't matter if they was double teaming him. Didn't matter if they was sending somebody at him, blitzing him.
I was looking at them side like, that ain't going.
Bottom of the net. Yep. Well, you go get it in your workout. We'll call you soon as we done.
All right.
Yes, God. So that's why you got to keep your phones on vibrate. Somebody was supposed to, put their phone on vibrate. I have no idea who that was, but hey, at least we got some good insights, and y'all got to see the young guy, Deuce, give his perspective on at least the Clippers game. So, other than that, I think in the Western Conference, I think Oklahoma's going to kind of breeze through Memphis. I don't think Memphis have enough. And you can see this too, man, when people was kind of excited when Memphis got rid of Dillon Brooks. I think he was like the Draymond Green of that team. He was kind of like the heart and soul of it as far as the energy that he bring from the defense perspective, and he could score the ball as well. And you can see Houston right now benefiting from that. But even when they lost Smart, like they don't have that guy, that brings a physicality, a toughness to their team, and a guy that, so to speak, that kind of protect Ja. So Ja can, do his thing on the court, and he has an enforcer kind of, like a Horace Grant type guy, a Draymond Green type guy, Dennis Rodman type guy, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley. He don't have that guy, and I think that's what they're missing, and missing that is going to be hard. I think Houston, Golden State, I think that's going to be a great series. Houston has to find a way to get their points from their star players and their role players step up a notch. Like this playoff basketball, it's time to go. And But I think that series right there are going to balance itself off and be good. Any picks? Who you got? Who you think going to be the most interesting in the playoff from the Western side? The Western, it's OKC versus Memphis, Houston versus Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, and you got Denver Nuggets versus Los Angeles Clippers. I told you Los Angeles Clippers was going to be the surprise team. If you want to see a Cinderella type team when it comes to NBA playoff, I told you, because Zubac is playing outstanding this year. Kawhi Leonard looks healthy and doesn't seem to have any rust. James Harden turned the time back and kind of went to vintage James Harden, getting his shots and game going. I'm going to also say this. I think Ben Simmons made a little sighting last night. I thought, him being able to play defense on Joker, him also being able to pull Joker out, set the screen, and then dive to the basket. And he's a very athletic 6'10" guy that can finish around the rim. I think he give a different pace to Zubac. And Joker has to, worry about him diving to the goal with the athleticism and quickness, as well as his passing ability. He only got a little small stint in the game, but I think we can look, for more of that going forward in these playoff, in this series right here. Any surprise? Who you got? We got about 2 games in right now for a couple of them. You see anything leaning one way or another right now?
No, I'm interested in seeing the Rockets and Warriors.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the better series. Houston played great defense. Not to say the Warriors don't, but Houston had 3 guys that could have been up for the Defensive Player of the Year. They also have a Coach of the Year candidate on the sideline, seeing him get back to his, get back to where he would like to be, and putting the team in position to be successful. I like that series right there. I also think the Lakers are in trouble. That's my surprise. The Lakers are in trouble. What do you think about this ordeal? You saw Shannon Sharp, just signed a $100 million deal with his club Shay Shay. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome right there. Shout out to Shannon for his hard work, his dedication, him being able to transition and provide opportunity and a platform for others to come out and tell their story. And as well as him, just moving into doing different things outside of the sport that he played. That's awesome. On top of that, it looks like a lawsuit has been filed against him for upwards of $50 million for alleged sexual assault, battery, emotional distress relationship that he had from 2023 to 2025. I don't take these lightly because I done seen these things happen, and I don't mean seeing them in person, but being around organizations or teams that had situations with, women, men, as far as these cases right here. So you don't take them lightly, You always want to protect the victims that are in these cases. And, and this is alleged. This is no facts. This is no criminal filings of anything. This is a suit that has been filed. And that's the only thing that we know about is the suit has been filed. There's no police record. We haven't seen any videos or confirmation or facts about it. We just know that the filing of this suit has happened. And it's right on the back of him, working and signing a new deal. What I will say is, in my opinion, when I saw the lawyer that was representing the person that's filing the suit, I did feel like, oh, come on, him again. Right, I'm gonna be honest, And not to take it lightly. If the fact's there, I do not condone none of this. But this is the lawyer that had multiple of Deshaun Watson that he represented, and the women in the case of the whole massage therapy thing. This is also the lawyer that had the charges brought against Jay-Z and P. Diddy. So I think he's based out of Texas. So it's just strange to see that he's always in the mix of these type of lawsuits that could seem to be a money grab. Now they have evidence and they have, they can prove whatever happened. I want those victims to be, compensated for whatever it is that they had to go through. On the other side of it, if this one lawyer is behind pushing this or pushing the narrative, because for one thing, individuals don't want sexual assault, rape tied to their name in any way, shape, or form. Individuals that's, portraying, I'm gonna say, because I don't know, the evidence is not there. Like, again, it's just a civil suit. It's just a suit that has been filed. No criminal charges has been brought up against anyone. So if it's just a money grab, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to have to fight this, you know what I mean? And Shannon Sharp had to fight a few cases. Remember, he had a defamation case. He had to fight with Brent Favre when Brent Favre said that, he's, messing up his character and things of that nature. But, you don't want to be attached to no rape charge, especially if you haven't done it, especially if you're innocent. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing all rolls out and how it plays out in the end. So it's almost like a bittersweet. You're congratulating them on getting, partnership with $100 million and with his club Shay Shay, but also you have to like a little smud on it because of filing of this rape case. So, like I said, this is all alleged. Hopefully, the court system works its way out, and we know what happens further on down the line. But that's it on that. We got the draft coming up.
Yes, this Thursday.
NFL draft this Thursday. A lot of lives are about to be changed this Thursday. A lot of lives, a lot of family lives. I was just talking to somebody too, so I'll give this, families. Yes, individual, yes, you may have had something to do with that individual in their process. Don't feel like that individual owe you anything. What I mean by that is, we're supposed to love each other unconditionally. So don't put a condition on your love. Don't put, I did these things as a parent just to get a reward back. Now, I'm pretty sure that all these athletes understand what you did for them, and they're going to have a soft spot in their heart for that act and how the Lord, the man above, touched their heart to bless you. Be grateful for that. Individual athletes, don't think that you're obligated to give anybody anything or do anything for anyone. That's simple. You don't owe anyone anything. You owe it to yourself to be, a great productive citizen, as well as to continue your growth and to use this as a tool to change the trajectory of your family going behind you. So if you don't have kids, for your future kids. If you don't have any immediate family that's behind you, to the future families that come behind you. Our trajectory of our money, especially for athletes, normally goes forward. And what I mean by forward is it normally goes to the people that came before us because we think that we owe individual things. You do not. Let's make sure our money goes to the generation behind us and that we leave a legacy that changed their lives forever. And in doing that, it's going to take some breaking of some cycles. And while you're breaking those cycles, make sure you be, what I used to always say, break generational curses, but don't forget to have generational grace. Know that the people that came before you only did the best that they could do with the information, knowledge, and things that they had. Understand that. All right. So with that being said, your day is coming up right now. I know you guys are anxious. You guys are probably, some of them are planning parties. Some of the people are planning that they're going to travel and go to wherever the draft is being held at. I think it's in Wisconsin, Green Bay, Lambeau Field. So for the ones that's going to have gatherings at their home, have a great celebration. Be safe, sound. Make sure that these things end positively. It's been funny because we had a lot of moments that went viral with significant others and things of that nature. Look, plan who you're going to be sitting next to. Make sure that it goes according to your plan. And if you have any questions with who going to be sitting next to you, if mom going to get mad, if girlfriend going to do this, make sure that you plan accordingly. You can have a celebration where everybody is at a venue, and you can have your immediate family at the house with the cameras on. Plan accordingly. And then everybody at the celebration can wait for you to come over after. Hey, if you want, let's make it professional. What I mean by that, it can only be you, your representation at the house where the cameras are, and just you sitting down on the couch. You don't have to have all this. Don't feel obligated to have all these individuals there, especially if you cannot control what's going to be happening when the cameras are going to come on, because it's going to go viral. You know what I mean? It's going to go viral. Girlfriend may want some attention. Mom may want more attention, because these are emotions that have been built up for a lifetime. So you can't predict how individuals going to act. So be cognizant of that. Don't take it for granted. You heard it here first. So with that being said, y'all have a great one. I always enjoy our time together. Hopefully you can pick up some gems from it. If I didn't say something to your liking, please get in the comments and let me know your thoughts. But it's been another great episode. Let's get back to it. We after the holidays. And, y'all like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Let's continue with this village of ours.